So for the last exercise, last part of the first exercise, basically, we are gonna be looking at the IMDb top 100 movies dataset. For that, let's first read it. Just to make sure to use read CSV function, we should call the library tidyverse or library readr. So you have to do that if you come back to this video later. So let's look at dataset. We have the index, movie name, year of release, category, runtime, genre, IMDb rating, votes, and gross total. And for the second exercise, we are going to be calculating the age of each movie from its release year. So you'll be seeing how to get the current year too. To get the current year, we call the year function and enter as system.date. So this gives today's date, and we are taking the year out of it basically. So this is really important because you could have just entered 2024 too, because I'm taking this video in 2024. But if I come back to this code for 1 year later, then it wouldn't be logical to change to 2025, especially if it was used in many places, then I would have changed it. So actually, if for example I could have forgotten to change it too, so this is better to make sure. And when giving these kind of R Markdown files as homeworks for my course, I'm using for the date of the R Markdown file the current date with system.date too, because if I'm working on my homework multiple days, then the date changes. So I wouldn't want to change it by hand every time too. So this is important. Then we are using the tidyverse, and we're gonna be calling the mutate function and create a new column named age, and then it's from there on the same current year minus year of release. By the way, just to be sure, I'm gonna be get this, because as we've seen from the head, the year was in parentheses. So year of release isn't character here actually. So before doing this, we should change it. First of all, I'll be trying to doing this on the run. So when we check the data type of the current year with this str function, it's numerical. So we'll be basically doing the same thing we did for the previous exercise, where we extracted the number of the applicants from the string, where it was like over 200 applicants or so. We'll be doing the same. So let's call this movies, and then we'll basically mutate this year of release. We'll say as.numeric, and then we are gonna call string extract, and we'll say again year of release, and we are gonna be doing the same. To be specific, we are gonna be taking the year, so it is 4 digits, so we can specify it as 4, and then this will be all, and we can check if we managed to do this. Movies, year of release, and we've done it. Amazing. And if we also look at the str function now, it will be numerical. Now we can do what we have planned to do for the age calculation. So let's say movies again, mutate age column we'll be adding, and we'll say current year minus year of release, and then we'll check the movies age column if it works, and it worked, as you can see here. That's amazing. So now what we are gonna do is, again, as you may have guessed, we are gonna visualize something, and what we are gonna visualize is the relationship between the IMDb rating and the number of votes, and again using ggplot2. So let's again movies. We are pretty accustomed to this by now. We are doing it over and over again. Then for X we are gonna be giving votes, for Y-axis IMDb rating, and then gonna be plotting with points. For the labels, gonna be giving for X label total votes, and then for Y label IMDb rating, So let's see. And here you can see that, and we can see like a pattern in here. When total votes increase, the IMDb rating seems to increase too. If you are really familiar with movies, IMDb rating, you can further interpret this too. Unfortunately, I'm not. I just like watching movies randomly, especially animation movies. I love Disney's animation movies, and I'd really suggest watching Wish. It was an amazing animation movie. Now let's move forward. Now again, another plot. We'll create this type of histogram to visualize the distribution of movie genres. So we'll say movies, and then TG plot, aesthetics, give us x-axis genre, then geom bar, then we'll flip the coordinates, and for labels, x, label will be genre, and the y label will be again frequency for histograms. And when you are doing histograms, you can also turn them easily into density graph plots. Basically, it's really easy to do too. And as we can see, it isn't really giving the genres alone, but most movies have multiple genres like action adventure, mystery also, so it's giving them all together. And we could have also done it better. Maybe I can add this here. I didn't expect this. I was doing this with you, and to do that we could have done, for example, top 10 genres, even though they aren't separate genre groups. Maybe then we have movies, could have said group I, was it genre, movies, yes, and then we could have arranged it in descending order. But before that, we could have just said, as we always did for these kind of things, we could have summarized it, and with count, and as you may have guessed, with number of rows, and then inside descending we could have written count, and then we have just taken the head 10, and here we could have easily said x as genre, and then as you see, we didn't give stat identity here because we haven't calculate the count ourselves, so it's calculated by itself. But because we did this now, we will just change it. So for genre, let's give it reorder. To look at the reorders before, as you remember, we reordered the title. For reorder, we write the column we want to specify, like order, and then according to count, which is minus for that, which means in reverse order. So we'll do the same. It's just looking at the previous code and arranging it to your own problems. We do it here, I'll write count, and here reorder, we have the genre and minus count. Then we'll say again here is that identity, and the coordinates flips. Now let's see. It gives an error in descending count, and it was expected because I forgot the pipe operator. And now what does it say? It says there is a problem with minus count. And why is there a problem with minus count? Let's see if it works this way. And it doesn't. Stat identity. Normally the top 10 genres should be okay. Let me see. So top 10 genres were like this, and it should normally work. So ggplot, aesthetics, X genre, Y count. And the problem is, was so obvious, we should have plotted the top 10 genres because it has the column count, not the movies. So sorry for that. Now let's reorder it to my minus count. And now let's look at that. And here you can see it much better. And most movies are just drama, then we have crime drama, action adventure, sci-fi, and so on. And then we have 2 more left. For the second last one, we'll visualize the gross earnings of the top 10 movies to see which movies made the most at the box office. It's an important thing to consider too. Let's take this, and then top 10 grossing movies. We'll take the movies. And then top n function. This basically, this function we have to put 10 here, which will be take the top 10. This takes the top ones, and from what we'll say gross total. But actually it should be reversed as I remember. Let's say top 10 function because it's a x and then n. Now let's try like that. Doesn't work, we'll just reverse the order. But from the parameters it seems that it should be in this order. And then we arrange it, sort it basically in descending of the gross total. And then the only thing left is looking at top 10 grossing movies and plotting it. So does it work? No, so it should be reversed. I've done the first one correctly, but the parameters are really confusing because x is normally the column and the n is the number. Here it's the thing. So as we can see, this gross total was the biggest, which is Schindler's List. If you know this movie, it's about Second World War and it's really touching and a good movie. You can understand that it makes the most. So top 10 grossing movies. And we'll plot down GG plot, aesthetics, X. We're gonna be reordering it again. Movie name and with gross total. And I think you guessed the Y. It's gross total. And then geom bar again to prevent calculation, unnecessary calculations, stat identity. And then we have the coordinate flip. And then for labels, X will be movie and then Y will be gross total. And then the $sign. This will give us a good plot. And what's the problem now? Normally, if this plot is working, then it should work fine. Let's maybe do it like this, and I can also show you select by that. We'll just select the, let's say, movie name and the gross total. And now as you see, it's just this, and it's easier to see. And the reorder part is correct. The geom bar seems correct too. Everything here seems correct. What's the problem it says? It says minus gross total. If we had just given movie name, would it work? Let's see, and it works. I think I understand the problem, and you probably have understood it too. The gross total is unfortunately not numerical because it has this M. Let's look at that structure. And is it? No, it's in character because we have $sign and the M. So I think we should have taken care of that before. Let's do that. For that, we can just take top 10 grossing movies and then extract the value, and it will be fine, I think. And then we'll say mutate. We have the gross total. Take as numeric string extract, and then we'll say gross total. And let's try if this general works. Basically like this. I guess it should work. And then we can look at the top 10 grossing movies. And then it's with str function. Let's see. And yep, it worked. The only problem is now it extracted wrongly because this was 90 93.6, I think. Let's go before. Let's read that again. Oops, wait, let's do it again. I have two ideas. Either we can look at how to do the extracting for floating points too, or because there aren't any movies that are really near each other, we could have just taken the first two digits and it would be fine, like 93 or so. And let's look at that. Oops, before doing that too, let's see if it works. And here it was in this format, and the extracting was actually correct. We didn't need to do that because now it's wrong. This was actually in the correct format, sorry for that. So the plus actually works for floating points, and if they are not near, like Apocalypse Now is normally bigger than Die Hard, so for that we can look at how to do it for dots. So I have some ideas we can use. For example, let's see, this is for plus, and we have a dot, and can we say plus p plus again? I'm not sure if this will work. It's worth a try, and it actually worked. So if you have an idea, go and try it, because it might actually work, because it was that simple. I'm not sure if it worked like it would work like this, and it didn't. So we should actually specify it like this, and now we actually have our results. These are the extracted format, and now it's numerical instead of character. And then as you can see here, these are the comparison and the bar plot. And lastly, I want to analyze the movie length, because I didn't want to leave that out. And let's say for movies, I want to create like a histogram to visualize the distribution of movie length. So we'll be using tgplot again, statics, and for x, runtime. And then geohistogram. And let's say bins equal 30 again. And labels x, runtime, minutes, and then y, frequency. But before that, I think maybe you might have been shouting at me, Sarah, look at the problem also, because let me copy paste this and delete it so it won't give an error. It was actually in string, I think, yes, it was like min. And I think you know the solution for that. Again, you're gonna be doing the extracting, which is, I think, the best and easiest solutions ever. And let's go mutate again, and then runtime. This is actually really fun. And then s.numeric, and string extract, and then we have the runtime again, and then we have the plus. Now let's check runtime, and I just need to load the library again, because there was a slight problem, so I have to go and come back. Tidyverse. And now it should work. And here, as you can see, it works perfectly as we wanted. And now we can just plot it. Actually, we plotted as usual. So now you can see the distribution of the movies. And that was all from my side. I hope you understood the basics of how to analyze data, visualize it, look out for NAs, missing values, and then extracting values for characters, extracting data out of it as numerical, and other kind of things. I hope that it was helpful for you, and see you in the next exercise. Bye.